Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy, Brandy Boy, back at it again with another Fallout 4 Mods of the Month video, the series where I cover my favorite Fallout 4 mods that came out within a particular month. This time around, it's for July of 2022. Now, July was truly an amazing month for Fallout 4 modding. There was an absurd amount of fantastic, lovely, scrum-diddly-umptious mods that came out, including a couple of gameplay overhauls, new power armor, copious amounts of gun mods as usual, brand new, immersive animations, a unique player home, along with a few other miscellaneous additions. It was honestly the best month of the year so far. It's clear that Fallout 4 modding isn't slowing down anytime soon, so prepare your mod manager, because you won't be able to resist stuffing it full with all these great mods. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So first, let's start with the mod that makes Fallout more like a true nuclear Fallout. It's called Looted World. This mod aims to make the looting aspect of the game more hardcore. It does that by removing a good chunk of the static loot that you would otherwise find in the vanilla game. Considering that this game takes place 200 years after the apocalypse, well, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense as to why there'd still be a bunch of valuable pre-war supplies just waiting to be scavenged up. It's very likely that someone else would have gotten to it already, especially after 2 whole centuries. With this mod, you won't be finding a whole bunch of loot laying out in the open, especially if you look through places like supermarkets and other stores. Their shelves are now picked completely clean. In the event of an apocalypse, those places are surely going to run out of stock in the first few days. Don't worry though, it's not a total barren wasteland. This mod doesn't remove all the loot. You'll still find a good amount, and the loot you do find usually looks like it was left there by a wasteland scavenger. Of course, you'll still find plenty of fresh pre- and post-war loot, locked behind doors and in locked containers. It probably won't be enough to sate your loot goblin appetite though, so you'll also have to utilize trading a lot more frequently. No more hoarding your bottle caps, sadly. You will actually have to spend them, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It gives more meaning to every piece of junk and cap that you earn. All around, this mod truly makes the game feel post-apocalyptic, just as it should be. Dare I say, it is quite immersive. Now for another core overhaul, we have the Stealth and Detection System mod. This one completely revamps the stealth system. Overall, it makes it much more enjoyable and useful. In the vanilla game, trying to rely on stealth was very frustrating. Sure, you could sneak up behind one person and get a single critical hit, but after that, the entire camp would know your exact XYZ coordinates. Even if you were to run away and hide behind cover, they would still be able to smell you from a mile away, and they would follow you to the ends of the Commonwealth. With this stealth overhaul, it'll make NPCs a little bit, dumber. In a good way though. After all, they shouldn't have X-ray vision. Now you can pick off enemies one by one, especially if you're using a suppressor. Now they're more useful than ever. To further increase your stealthiness, I'd also recommend relocating and finding a new piece of cover. If done right, your enemies will have no clue where you're at, and they'll still be looking for you in your last known location. They also aren't as persistent as they used to be. They'll give up their search much quicker than in vanilla. This will allow you to re-engage with another ambush. At the same time, they're just less perceptive in general, and you'll be able to sneak up right behind them, provided that your sneak perks are leveled up of course. They aren't total lobotomites though. They'll still see you if you're poking out from cover. Overall, I'd say this mod strikes a good balance. It's not too hard, but it's not stupid easy either. And it definitely makes stealth tactics a lot more fun and effective to use. So, with this mod, you can finally properly play as a stealth-based character. In my humble opinion, I think this has got to be the best stealth overhaul mod for Fallout 4. But as we all know, stealth is optional for this mission. If you want to face your enemies head on, then you better be packing some serious protection. Power armor is certainly the best choice. For a brand new suit, you want to try out the Legion power armor. Now this one is pretty rad. As you can see, it's a power armor set specifically suited for a soldier of Caesar's Legion. The base armor is that of the T-45 series, but it has been modified and painted to fit the Legion's aesthetic. Most notably, it takes direct inspiration from the monster of the East himself, Legate Lanius. With it being power armor, it's more intimidating than ever. Just all around, this armor is absolutely immaculate. I don't even like the Legion, but I have to admit, they have got some mad drip, and that's good enough reason to join them. You don't have to go all the way to the Colorado or Nevada to get this armor though. Luckily, it's here in the Commonwealth. It's at the Hub City Auto Wreckers, just across from Saugus Ironworks. I guess the gunners there must have repossessed it and then stored it in the shed. But after you deal with them, it's all yours. The armor comes with the standard power armor modifications you'd expect. Nothing special here, and you can't change the paint scheme on this one. But why would you? It's already perfect. The mod itself is super underrated, so I'm glad I found this hidden gem. It's one of the coolest power armor mods out there, and it's the perfect mod to LARP as one of Kaisar's Legionnaires. But if you think power armor is too bulky and slow, then the Talos Exoskeleton would be a great alternative. With this mod, you can become the ultimate super soldier. This exosuit blends together pieces from the vanilla power armor frame, along with some custom tactical armor and accessories. It even comes with its own custom footstep sounds. It's basically a lighter version of power armor, yet it comes with all the same bonuses, which includes increased strength and immunity to fall damage. The armor itself boasts a very high damage resistance, and you can upgrade it further with modifications that you'd normally only see on power armor, such as Tesla bracers and a built-in stealth buoy. You can't use a jetpack though, so instead, there's an upgrade that allows you to jump higher. While in the air, you can do some crazy maneuvers and trick shots, and when you fall to the ground, it hits with the same force as power armor. So it's got all these same advantages, all without sacrificing speed or requiring a fusion core. Is it overpowered? Absolutely. It's not all that hard to obtain either. You can simply craft it at a chem station, but you will need plenty of junk along with combat armor and a whole set of T-45 to upgrade the exosuit. Additionally, there's another variant that comes with a built-in hazmat suit. And there you have it, the Talos Exoskeleton. Overall, this is quite an epic armor mod. Not only does it look pretty cool, but with this exosuit, you can dominate the battlefield as the ultimate super soldier and have tons of fun while doing it. And if you truly want to be a super soldier, then you better set up a training course and spend a lot of time practicing your tactics and honing your aim. For that, we can use the target practice mod. It adds in holographic targets that you can build at any settlement. The targets will disappear when you hit them, so you'll know when you land your shots. You can start a training session, either by shooting a target or by using a special aid item in your inventory. I'd recommend using this one so you can set how many targets you want to go for. You can go all the way up to 30 targets, and to spice things up, I'd recommend throwing in some mannequins. Don't hit those though, they are innocent bystanders, and it'll deduct from your score. You can set up quite the elaborate course, like what I've done here at Reed Marina. It feels like I'm a Navy SEAL raiding a compound. All this mod needs now is an active timer and a way to track how many times you miss. As it is currently, it's a rather basic system, but still, it's plenty of fun, and it's a very immersive way to train your aim. But of course, we also need the proper armaments. To keep with the futuristic theme, we have the next generation squad weapon, the MCX Spear, also known as the XM5. This rifle utilizes the unique 6.8 by 51mm cartridge, so it hits a little harder than your standard 5.56 AR. Just recently, this sci-fi looking gun got adopted as the US Army's new service weapon, and now you can adopt it into your personal arsenal here in Fallout 4. Everything about this mod is high quality. The models and textures are superb. You can't see a single pixel, and all around, the rifle is simply a work of art. The sounds and animations are top notch as well, some of the best out there. Not only is it high quality, but there's plenty of quantity as well. There is an absurd amount of customization for this rifle, whether that be stocks, barrels, muzzles, magazines, sights, grips, accessories, and paint schemes. There's plenty of options in each category, and all those options make this rifle a very versatile platform. You can make it into a close quarters room clearer or long range marksman. Whichever role you need, this rifle can do it. For even more variety, there's 6 legendary variants, all of which can be found scattered around the map in set locations. As for the standard version, you'll be able to find that one naturally in the leveled list, most often on gunners and traders. This rifle is now easily one of my favorite gun mods of all time. It's oh so satisfying to use, and it stands out from all the other generic AR mods. To top it all off, it also takes advantage of a special new gunplay mod. You've probably already noticed it throughout the video. That would be the side aim framework. This mod will allow you to tilt your weapon on its side, and with that, you can use canted sights or simply aim with a laser. It's a feature you may have seen in other shooter games, especially modern tactical ones. Being able to cant your weapon is certainly very useful in combat. When at longer ranges, you can use a big scope, but after moving in closer, you may want to switch to a low zoom canted sight for easier target acquisition. What I especially like about this mod is that it's seamless, and you don't have to worry about unequipping then re-equipping your weapon. I have no clue how it works, but my goodness, it's amazing, and it makes the gunplay flow so much better. As a bonus, this mod will also allow you to switch the firing type of your weapon from full auto to semi-auto, or vice versa. You can use semi-auto for more precise shots, or if you just want to conserve ammo. But if the need arises, you can switch to full auto instantly and begin mowing everything down. Sadly, there's no animations for it, but I can see why that's the case. That would require new and unique animations for every single gun mod. Also, it doesn't work with every gun mod right off the bat. It will require a patch, but the main mod itself already includes patches for plenty of popular gun mods. Either way, it's quite a nice feature to have. Dare I say, this mod is revolutionary, and it's certainly a welcome addition to upgrade Fallout 4's gunplay. Now for another extremely high quality weapon mod, the Charger Pistol. Now this one is truly one of a kind. It's a handmade Gauss revolver that uses the 2mm electromagnetic cartridge. Overall, the design is very crude and highly creative. There's all kinds of scrap parts that were put together to make this gun, and the attention to detail is outstanding. You can see the scratches, chips, weld marks, and other imperfections. The custom animations are just as impressive. They look very smooth and stylish. Even further, the attachments really display the creativity that went into this design. You can choose between the standard 6-shot receiver or an expanded 18-round drum. The 6-shot receiver will allow you to charge up your weapon for extra damage, while the expanded drum is useful for rapid fire, at the cost of extra damage though. There's also several options for sights, stocks, magazines, muzzles, grips, and most notably, swapping out the barrel will completely change how the weapon functions. The standard and long barrels will have the normal 2mm projectile, while the shotgun barrel will split it into multiple pellets. Or you can make it into a flamethrower with the heating barrel. It launches little balls of fire. And if that's not enough, then you can make the projectiles explode on impact with the missile launcher barrel. There's also the prototype charger. It's a unique legendary weapon which uses a 3-round burst. So, as you can see, there's a plethora of different builds you can make with this weapon. Surprisingly enough, this handmade hunk of junk is probably one of the most versatile and effective weapons in the Wasteland. So if you happen to find one as loot, make sure to hang on to it. It is invaluable. All around, this gun is amazing in every aspect. The textures, animations, and sounds are all fantastic, and the design itself is very creative. I really appreciate the wacky and crude aesthetic too. It fits perfectly into the weird wasteland of Fallout. Without a doubt, the Charger Pistol is one of the best weapon mods for Fallout 4. If you want more unique makeshift weapons like that, then you're in luck, for we have the Valve Handgun. It's a single-shot homemade handgun that's chambered in 308. The design is pretty neat. It utilizes a valve to access and seal the chamber, hence the name. Now this is a good example of what the vanilla pipe gun should have been. It's a very simplistic handmade gun that uses scrap parts, and it avoids any convoluted moving mechanisms. It's a little bit wacky, but it still manages to be a believable design. The mod sports custom models, detailed textures, and custom animations, all of which are well made. There's a good amount of customization as well. There's options for stocks, barrels, sights, and you can even convert it to 7.62x39. So with the right attachments, you can transform it into a fairly effective one-shot sniper. You do only have one shot though, so you better make it count. It is meant to be an early game weapon, one that you can find off raiders at low levels. So it's definitely not a DPS machine, but if you're a skilled marksman, it can still be deadly. The Valve Handgun is a very welcome addition to the Commonwealth. We certainly need more makeshift weapons like this to flush out the weapons pool for the early game. Overall, a very cool gun. It's quite an interesting and quirky handmade design, and of course, That means it fits perfectly into Fallout. Another handgun you may want to try out is the Frommer Stab. It's a rather obscure early 1900s Hungarian sidearm that utilizes a rotating, long recoil bolt, which is unlike almost every other pistol. This particular mod is based on the 380 variant, so in-game it uses the 38 caliber ammunition. The textures have got some nice detail on them, but there aren't any custom sounds or animations. The Frommer Stab will use vanilla deliverer animations, but they do fit. And this pistol does come with a few attachments. Nothing crazy though, it is an antique, but you can kit it out with an extended barrel, an extended magazine, a sight, some muzzle attachments, or even a fresh paint job. Easily, my favorite part about this mod has got to be the custom Brandy Boy paint. Now that is truly a work of art. Thank you, Dak, I love to see it. Even better, you can convert it into full auto to be a true menace. Although it's pretty rare in reality, you will find this gun as loot through the leveled list. It's a solid weapon for clearing out low-level enemies, especially if you've got plenty of 38 to burn. The Frommer Stab is quite an interesting antique firearm, so if you're a collector like me, then you ought to add this one to your arsenal. For an even more ancient sidearm, we have the Remington New Army revolver. It's an old-school single-action revolver. By today's standards, this thing is an absolute artifact, and it was originally a black powder weapon, one that was used in the US Civil War. This mod, though, includes a newer version that has been converted to use .44 Magnum rounds. The gun itself looks beautiful, and it sports some fancy textures, along with sweet custom animations that display how this old technology works. As you can see, your character has to take out the used cylinder, then place in a brand new one that's already loaded. Either that, or you can use an upgrade that allows you to carry around an infinite amount of backup revolvers in your pocket. You know, for convenience sake. For the rest of the customization, there's not too much, but you can transform it into a rifle with the addition of a stock, a long barrel, and a sniper scope. So you can either be a close-range gunslinger or a long-range sharpshooter. Either way, it will get the deed done, provided that you can aim, of course. The revolver will be injected into the level list, meaning you can find it as loot naturally. So go out there and show those scavs what a real Deadeye looks like. It's a pretty dang fun revolver to use, and you can flex on your enemies, knowing that you killed them with a 400-year-old gun. So if you're a real cowboy, then you'll surely love the Remington New Army. Alright, that should be enough gun mods. For the time being, that is. But one more thing, actually. How about a mod to improve one of the vanilla weapons? To breathe new life into the laser gun, you should get the Laser Rifle Reanimated mod. As the title suggests, it completely reanimates the vanilla laser gun. All of the animations for equipping, walking, sprinting, shooting, reloading, all of it. It's an entirely new set of high-quality animations. This modder absolutely blows Bethesda out of the water when it comes to animations. These are buttery smooth and extremely stylish to boot, all without being too over the top. It's all in good taste. And you can tell a lot of effort and care was put into making this mod. I love the reload animation especially. Now your character will use the charging handle to set the fusion core in place, and it'll spin around as if there's some kind of a rotating mechanism inside of the gun. When using the automatic barrel, the whole thing will spin around, and the way it spins is mesmerizing. You can truly feel the inertia and recoil of the mechanism, and that makes it feel all the more satisfying. I'm a big fan of well-made animations, so I really like this mod, and I'm already looking forward to the next reanimation pack from Mr. Lame Gaming. We've still got a few more animation mods in store. These next three are all from a talented modder named Nihir. First, we've got one that will affect your first-person running animations. So, instead of running like Naruto with your hands at your side, you'll now see that your character actually moves their arms. You know, because that's how people actually run. There's two different versions of the mod. One where your character has their hands closed, and another where they're open. Now that is proper sprinting technique. I will say though, it almost looks like he's trying to play Fruit Ninja while running, and now that I said that, you will not be able to unsee it. But in all seriousness, these animations are pretty neat, and of course, very immersive. To complement that one, there's also the first-person swimming animations mod. With this mod, you will actually use your arms to swim, rather than wiggle around like a sea serpent. When going slow, your character will perform a steady breaststroke, but when going full speed, they'll switch to a more energetic freestyle. That's about it for those two. They're both very simple animation mods, yet they're a fine addition and are guaranteed to raise your immersion levels by at least 18%. It never really bothered me that we didn't have these animations in the vanilla game, but now that I've made you aware, you will never be able to play Fallout the same without them. And for the last one, the Climbable Ladders mod. Now this one is truly revolutionary. It dares to do what even Bethesda itself has been scared of for decades. Animated ladders. Seriously, Bethesda just doesn't include ladders in their games, and even when there are ladders, they are simply a fade-to-black loading screen. Well, one brave modder has taken on the task, and now we've finally got working climbable ladders for Fallout 4. They don't replace the ladders you see in the vanilla game though. These ladders can only be crafted and used in settlements. There's different ladder lengths, so you can reach those extra tall buildings. And yes, there's animations for going up and down the ladder. Truly amazing. If you got any structures with multiple floors and you don't want to take up a whole bunch of space with a staircase or an elevator, then you can always use a ladder instead, and do it very immersively. Other ladder mods have come before, but none can compare. This one is truly the best ladder mod of all time. And now for something a little different. How about something to improve the look of one of Fallout's most iconic creatures? For that, we have the classic Deathclaw mod. It's a pretty simple mod. All it does is edit the vanilla Deathclaw model. This mod adds back in some of the features seen on the Deathclaws in Fallout 3 and New Vegas. Most notably, the jaw shape is more protruding, the eyes are now yellow, and the claws are much longer. Overall though, the Deathclaws are still very beefy, and they aren't quite as skinny as they were in 3 and New Vegas. I think that's a great design choice though. It takes the best parts from the Fallout 4 design, and then combines them with the iconic look of the classic Deathclaws. So in the end, we got the most intimidating combination possible. An absolute mass monster with glowing eyes, a chiseled jaw, and long, sharp claws. The Chad Claw, you could call it. All around, it's a fantastic redesign. I think it's better in every aspect, and I'd love to see the Deathclaws look like this in the next Fallout game. And finally, on to the last mod. So after all that adventuring and killing Deathclaws, we'll need a place to settle down, as well as somewhere to store all those new guns. The perfect mod for that would be the Army Bunker player home. It's made by none other than Eleonora. She's one of the best modders out there when it comes to player homes. The Army Bunker is yet another lovely custom abode. It's located at Wicked Shipping, just south of Sanctuary. It's a bit hidden, but you can find the entrance in a container at the back of the warehouse. It'll lead you down a dark tunnel, but at the end of it is a rather comfy home. The bunker itself isn't too big, it's just one room, along with the bathroom. Kinda like a studio apartment, but this one won't cost you your entire paycheck to rent, because the landlord actually died during the nuclear apocalypse, so it's completely free for you to take ownership. Thank God for the bomb, I say. It is on the smaller side, but it's got everything you need. A bunk bed, plenty of storage, a bathroom with a mirror to customize your appearance, a kitchen with a stove and a fridge, a workshop area that includes every single workbench, even a power armor station, and it also comes with a free set of T60 power armor. And there's also some mannequins to display your armor. All around, it's a very comfy looking residence. It features lots of decorations, unique knickknacks, and other types of clutter. All that gives this player home a good sense of character. It's got more depth than Preston Garvey, that's for sure. But that's enough jokes. In all seriousness, this is an awesome mod. I adore all the little details, and it's a great place to call home. And that'll wrap up my favorite mods from July. Let me know what your favorite mod was in the comments down below. If you like the mods, then remember to endorse their Nexus page. And if you like this video, then you ought to blast away that like button. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon with all notifications to get notified when I release a new video. I've already got my mod list for August, so stay tuned for the next episode of Mods of the Month. If you made it all the way to the end, then I can only assume you're a big fan of the channel. If you would like to support the channel, then please consider donating to my Patreon. Link is in the description, of course. With all that being said, I'll see y'all in the next video.